Sometimes the people in our life are going to irritate us. We're going to get annoyed, frustrated, even pissed off. That's normal. That's perfectly okay. Two different humans walking through the world together. We are going to bump up against each other in unpleasant ways sometimes. So how in those moments do you soften yourself toward that person? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Stacy, Rocklein, and it's my mission to eradicate loneliness. And loneliness happens with disconnection. And sometimes it's mental and emotional disconnection. It's actually all happening within us. So what that can look like is this. A person in your life does something irritating, right? They do an irritating behavior. And we have our internal voice, our ego is there to protect us. Doesn't want us to have pain, wants us to have a pleasurable life. And so it goes, that's a rude behavior. It's wanting you to notice so that you don't feel bad. But the ego is like this very dramatic best friend of yours. And the problem is you can't actually have a relationship with the ego, right? That's all just you and you. So listening to it and letting it cause disconnection with the actual people in your life, this is not what we want. So along comes your ego and it's like, that was a rude thing that person did. And then this is where the drama happens. And actually, they do rude things all the time. So a good way to spot your ego is whenever it's exaggerating or using hyperbole, like always and nevers. And actually, it'll keep going. Actually, that person is like also really inconsiderate. They're kind of selfish. That is a selfish, inconsiderate bully. And now the one action that person did has turned into a character assassination. This happens to me. There's somebody in my life who does rude things, right? Does inconsiderate things. But my ego loves to go, that is a rude, inconsiderate, selfish bully. And then how do I feel when that's what's going on internally? I don't want to be around that person. If I'm stuck being around that person, I'm like, this is horrible. I don't want to be here. And so moments of my life, the joy and delight are taken out of them all because of what's happening up here. So this is going to happen in different ways in your life. Sometimes you've got someone on the sort of periphery of your life. They're a coworker or, a relative that's not, in your close family. Sometimes it is somebody that's close to you and they're going through a season of life where they're doing a lot of irritating things. It might be a kid, it could be an in-law, it could be a sibling, it could be a parent, it could be your romantic partner. We sometimes have seasons where we're like, that person is irritating me all over the place. This is normal. I don't want you to feel bad about this. This is normal. It especially happens when we're under stress. So anyway, here you are, and you've got your ego running away and assassinating this person's character for a thing that they did, one thing that they did. Because your ego is like, that thing, they always do that. And they also do these other things. And it's all because of this is who they are. So what do we do in those moments? Simple practice, but so effective and helpful. So first, thank your ego. Thank you for showing up for you. It's trying to help. It's like over the top, but it's trying to make sure that somebody doesn't treat you disrespectfully. Somebody doesn't bully you. Someone isn't inconsiderate to you. So thank it for doing its job. It's helpful. You don't want to, inside your internal system, you do not want to create self-judgment and anger and hatred at yourself. So acknowledge that it came to help. So you can say, thank you very much. This is wonderful. I see that you're pointing that out because you do not want people to be rude to me. Fabulous. But now let's focus on the positive traits of this person. Make a list or do it mentally. What are the great things about them? Because we will want to lean into the negative narrative sometimes, and that creates disconnection. Mentally, we want to disconnect. Emotionally, we want to disconnect. Physically, we may want to disconnect. And it's just because we get stuck in that inaccurate narrative. Every human walking around has positive attributes, especially the ones that you're in a relationship with. So let's look at them, right? This person who does do irritating things in my life, they're also really generous, very generous person. They have this childlike delight about the world, right? It's really fun to watch. They're funny, super, super funny. And so I can focus on all of that stuff, and it makes me feel better internally as a person. It makes me feel better when I'm in, proximity to them, to focus on these are these good things. And when I'm focused on these are the good things, I notice more good things. I'm like, see, that's a really funny thing that they just said. So you want to lean into someone's positive attributes to create balance in your own mind so that you don't stay focused on the negative and continue to disconnect from them. Super important, because this is just going to happen. There are going to be times when people are irritating you, and you know that your ego will be like, we're irritated, and that it will want to lean that way, that dramatic little ego best friend of yours, and you're going to have to gently nudge it toward your heart, toward your true self, by focusing on someone's wonderful attributes. So another way you could practice this is by coming to join our free Facebook group, and we do gratitude on Mondays. I do it in all of my groups, even my paid membership. We have Gratitude Wednesdays. Gratitude is a practice. It's something that you always want to use to your benefit. Like I said, when I'm looking at someone's positive traits, I'm noticing the other things. When you think about what you're grateful for, you notice that there's more to be grateful for. So come into our group. The link is right here. And on those days, here's how you stretch yourself. Don't do the easy gratitude. Do the hard gratitude. Do the gratitude where you look at the person in your life that is irritating the most, that is just pissing you off, and be grateful for their positive attributes. Write it down in the comments on the gratitude post so that you keep practicing this for yourself, because we want to keep emphasizing connections. You may not want to build a huge relationship with this person, but what you're doing is you're practicing this so that when it's somebody that you care deeply about and you're really close to, you already know how to do this because you're doing it all the time. All right, come join our group. We would love to have you. Come practice gratitude. Appreciate your ego. Focus on positive attributes, and I will catch you next time.